incorporation of company or formation of company. Let us check up this. A company may be formed for any lawful purposes by 7 or more persons where the company is to be formed to be a public company. 2 or more persons where the company to be formed is a private company. Finally, in case of one person company, one person may be sufficient to form a one person company. Now, let us check up procedural aspects of incorporation of companies. First one is application for availability of name of company. That is, a person may make an application if such form and the manner and accompanied by such fees as may be prescribed to the registrar for registration of name set out in the application. That is, the name of the proposed company and the name to which the company proposes to change its name. The name stated in memorandum of association should not be identical with or resembles too nearly to the name of an existing registered company, and that name will constitute an offence under any law for the time being in force, or the name is undesirable in the opinion of the central government. The next step is the preparation of memorandum and articles. The memorandum of a company shall state the name of the company with the last word limited in case of public limited company, or the last words private limited in case of private limited company. But this clause does not apply to section 8 company. Second one, the state in which the registered office of the company is to be situated. The objects for which the company is proposed to be incorporated and any matter considered necessary. Next one, the liability of the members of the company, whether limited or unlimited, and also state in case of company limited by shares, the liability of its members is limited to the amount unpaid, if any, on the shares held by them. In case of company limited by guarantee, the amount up to which each member undertakes to contribute. Next one. In case of company having share capital, the amount of share capital with which the company is to be registered and the division thereof into shares of a fixed amount and the number of shares which the subscribers to the memorandum agree to subscribe, which shall not be less than 1 share, and the number of shares each subscriber to the memorandum intends to take indicated opposite his name. And in case of one person company, the name of the person who, in the event of death of the subscriber, shall become the member of the company. The third aspect for incorporation is declaration from professional. Filing of affidavit in the prescribed form by an advocate or a chartered accountant, cost accountant, or company secretary in practice who is engaged in the formation of company, and by a person named in the articles as director, manager, or secretary of the company, that all the requirements of this act and the rules made thereunder in respect of registration and matters precedent or incidental thereto have been complied with. Fourth aspect, affidavit from subscribers to the memorandum. The filing of an affidavit from each of the subscribers to the memorandum and from the persons named as the first directors, if any, in the articles that is not convicted of any offence in connection with promotion, formation, or management of a company, or that he has not been found guilty of any fraud or otherwise or any breach of duty to any company in any previous company law during the 5 years, and all the documents filed with the registrar for registration of the company containing information that is correct and complete and true to the best of his knowledge and belief. Fifth point is furnishing verification of registered office. A company shall, within 30 days of its incorporation and at all times thereafter, having a registered office capable of receiving and acknowledging all communications and notices as may be addressed to it, and the company shall furnish to the registrar verification of registered office within 30 days of incorporation. Sixth important point is particulars of subscribers. The filing of particulars of names, including surnames or family name, residential address, nationality, and such other particulars of every subscriber to the memorandum, along with proof of identity as may be prescribed, and in the case of subscriber being a body corporate, such particulars as may be prescribed. Last but one, particulars of first directors along with their consent to act as directors. Filing of particulars of the persons mentioned in the articles as the first directors of the company, their names, including surnames or family names, the director's identification number, residential address, nationality, and such other particulars, including proof of identity as may be prescribed. The last one is power of attorney. With a view to fulfilling the various formalities that are required for incorporation of a company, the promoters may appoint an attorney, empowering him to carry out the instructions or the requirement stipulated by the registrar. In order to perform this, execution of power of attorney on non-judicial stamp paper of a value prescribed in respect to state stamps laws. After submitting all the documents, the registrar, on the basis of documents and the information filed as mentioned above, shall register all the documents and the information, and the registrar issue a certificate of incorporation in the prescribed form that the proposed company is incorporated. Therefore, a certificate of incorporation given by the registrar in respect of any association shall be the conclusive evidence that all the requirements of the act have been complied with in respect of registration and matters precedent and incidental thereto, and that the association of company authorized to be registered and duly registered under the Act. On incorporation and from the date mentioned in the certificate of incorporation, ROC will issue and allot to the company a corporate identity number, that is SIN, shall be distinct identity for the company and which shall also be included in the certificate. Therefore, all these documents the company shall maintain and preserve at its registered office as originally filed till its dissolution. Now, let us check up the classification of capital. The following terms are important. Let us check up one by one. Nominal or authorized or registered capital, which means such capital as is authorized by the memorandum of a company to be the maximum amount of the share capital of the company. Second one, issued capital, which means the capital as the company issues from time to time for subscription. Therefore, it is that part of the authorized or nominal capital which the company issues for the time being for public subscription and allotment. This is computed at the face value or the nominal value. Next one, subscribed capital. Subscribed capital means such part of the capital which is for the time being subscribed by the members of the company. Therefore, it is that portion of the issued capital at face value which has been subscribed for or taken up by the subscribers of shares in the company. Therefore, it may be clear that entire issued capital may or may not be subscribed. Therefore, in accounting, we will come across oversubscription and undersubscription. Next one, called up capital. Called up capital means such part of the capital which has been called for payment by the subscribers. Therefore, it is that portion of the subscribed capital which has been called up or demanded on the shares by the company. The last one, paid up share capital. Paid up share capital or share capital paid up means the aggregate amount of money credited as paid up, which is equivalent to the amount received as paid up in respect of shares issued, and also includes any amount credited as paid up in respect of shares of the company, but does not include any other amount received in respect of such shares by whatever name called. Now, let us check up preference and equity share capital. Equity share capital with reference to any company limited by shares means all share capital which is not preference share capital. Therefore, the definition says any capital other than preference share capital is treated as equity share capital. Now, let us check up what is preference share capital. That means that part of the issued share capital of the company which carries a preferential right with respect to two aspects. One is payment of dividend, which may be either a fixed amount or amount calculated at fixed rate, which may be either be free of or subject to income tax. Second aspect, repayment. In case of winding up or repayment of capital, the amount of the share capital paid up or deemed to have been paid up, whether or not there is a preferential right to the payment of any fixed premium or premium on a fixed scale specified in the memorandum and articles of the company. Now, let us check up form of memorandum of association. The memorandum of association should be in any one of the forms specified in tables A, B, C, D and E. Let us check up what are they. Table A is applicable in case of companies limited by shares. Table B is applicable to companies limited by guarantee not having share capital. Table C is applicable to companies limited by guarantee having a share capital. Table D is applicable to unlimited companies not having share capital. Finally, Table E is applicable to unlisted or unlimited companies having a share capital. Now, whatever may be the table, let us check up what are the general contents of a memorandum of association. First one, the name of the company. The name of company with limited as its last word in case of public company and private limited as its last words in case of private company. And this does not apply to Section 8 companies and government companies. Second one, situation clause, that is the state in which the registered office of the company is to be situated. The third one, objects clause, that is the objects for which the company is proposed to be incorporated and any matter considered necessary. Next one, liability clause. The liability of the members of the company, whether limited or unlimited, shall be stated. In case of company limited by shares, that the liability of its members is limited to the amount unpaid, if any, on the shares held by them. And in case of company limited by guarantee, the amount to which each member undertakes to contribute to the assets of the company, and thus too in the event of being wind up. And to what extent he is liable means to the cost, charges and expenses of winding up and for adjustment of the rights of the contributories among themselves. And next clause is capital clause. In the case of company having share capital, the amount of share capital with which the company is to be registered and the division thereof into shares of a fixed amount and the number of shares which the subscribers to the memorandum agree to subscribe, which shall not be less than 1 share per subscriber, and the number of shares each subscriber to the memorandum intends to take, indicating exactly opposite to his name. And finally, In case of one person company, the name of the person who, in the event of the death of the subscriber, shall become the member. And finally, association clause. As we have seen earlier, in case of one person company, the person name, his address and identity and his witness. And in case of his incapacity, what will be the other alternative member? And in case of private company, a minimum of 2 persons, and in case of public company, a minimum of 7 persons, their names, addresses, and their proof of identity should be mentioned here. Coming to the articles of association, these are nothing but internal rules and regulations. These should not be against the rules specified in the memorandum under the Companies Act. Generally, it contains the internal rules and regulations. There will be number of matters regarding conduct of meetings, voting, procedure, appointment, removal, qualifications, disqualifications of various people, and disciplinary actions, etc. And there will be various forms as just like memorandum, like table. We have seen A, B, C, D, E, F. In the same manner, articles can have such ready-made articles. And company registered after this Commencement Act has to specify specifically its own articles or may be incorporated from the tables.